If you click on Save As, you'll get to choose the file name, the type of format that you want, and where you want this to be saved. We will cancel it for now. Go back here. You can also save this as a duplicate. Next, export single layer. As the name suggests, if you export and choose any of these options under the single layer, when it saves up, while we have just one layer for now, let's say we have multiple layers, and these multiple layers have different art. Then, coming here to the single layer export, when you save this, then it will save as a single layer. But you want to save this in multiple pages, then we have the PDF options and the batch exports. These are mainly used for comics and mangas. This is for your animation. And then we have the special export for webtoons, vectors, and layer compositions. The time lapse, as the name suggests, is a way for you to record a time lapse of your project, which you can then export it and then share it on social media. You can also import various images, patterns, 3D objects, vectors, and all sorts of other things. Print setting, as the name suggests, is for setting up your print settings. We'll cancel for now. This is the command for printing. And then next we have preferences, which is an important menu that you need to go through. You don't necessarily need to make any changes on the go, but these are changeable if you so choose to do so. The most common one that people tend to change is from dark color to light, and the opposite. I like to go a little darker than this, so I'll change it to this. Next, you have the privacy settings. This is used for sending any information that you want. So if you're okay with these, you can tap these and then press OK, and you'll be able to send support bug fixes and help with quality improvements. I have decided to disable both of them. This is the command bar setting, which is basically these over here. And you can go down and make changes to these as well. These are the menu commands. Then we have the pop-up palettes, options, tools, auto actions, and drawing color. Like I said, this is just a brief walkthrough of the options and the menus that are available. So after the command bar settings, you have the shortcut settings where you can make changes to the shortcuts. So if you, for example, say don't prefer a particular shortcut for a tool, then you can make changes over here. So say for the pen, we have the P as a shortcut. You can go to edit shortcut and press any alphabet on a keyboard and change this. Say you want to change it to U, it'll now change to U. But let's revert back to P, since that is what I like to use for pen. Next is the modify key settings. Again, these are similar to the shortcuts, but a little bit more detailed and more functionality. I would not recommend changing these settings right away when you start unless you know what you're doing. But you can play around with these later down the line. You can manage the fonts that you have on Clip Studio Paint here, connect to your smartphone, the tab made controller, which is basically like a keyboard sort of thing where you can use it to map shortcuts to for Clip Studio Paint. Clip Studio tab made is the same. Then over here you can change the pen pressure. I would recommend keeping this at the default settings, and that is about it. You can use this to close Clip Studio Paint, and then here you can click on Clip Studio, the launcher. The edit options. Some of the options don't need further explanation, but for example, you can register an image or a template over here. So if you have made an illustration, register that illustration as an image or a template. You can change the various tones over here, transform them, align them, change the image resolution, change the canvas size, canvas height, rotate the canvas or flip it, canvas properties, and you can clear the history as well. You can also use this to pick a color. Coming back to the story, this is used for comic, webcomic, and manga settings. Same thing with the animation. It is used for the animation. Next, we have the layers. So you can add a new layer from here as well. These are the types of layers that are available. The correction layers. These are the same options in the tonal corrections. You can add a folder to group all of these layers together under a folder. Create a folder and insert a layer, a raster layer inside. Duplicate this layer, any selected layer that over here, or you can delete them. You can create a mask, create a perspective ruler, convert the objects into a file object, the layer settings, and you can create this, and then you can click on this to create a selection, much like the lasso tool. You can convert this current layer into any other layer, convert to lines and tones, merge with the layer below. So by clicking this, say if you were on this layer, layer number 2, and you click on merge with layer below, then layer 2 and layer 1 would merge, like so. But if you click on merge visible layers, then all these layers would combine into one. Let us undo that. trainers, training and tutorial options, getting started, new features and release notes, instruction manuals, support, and so on and so forth. These two are used to check your version information. We'll go to the pen tool for now. So this is the G pen, and these are the types of pens that are available. You can also add your own. For example, these are the ones that I bought from another artist, and I've added their own custom brushes and pens. Let's go back to the pen tool. Clicking on the G pen, these are the tool properties for the G pen. These are the brush size, the opacity, anti-aliasing, and then stabilization. Let's clear or delete everything that was drawn in layer number 4. So much like this, each tool has their properties that you can go and change. And depending on that, your settings or the output of that tool will change. If by chance you don't like the setting, then you can revert back to the initial settings over here. Clicking on this will revert this back to how it was initially. You can click on this wrench icon, and this will show you more in detail of the options available for each tool. Which is the same for every tool that is available. Coming to the layer panel over here, let's take it out so that we can focus on it properly. This here is a new raster layer. You can click on this to add new raster layers. The trash can is for deleting them. This is a new vector layer, a new folder to group all of these inside a folder to manage space. You can also double click to change the name of the layer to anything that you want. Let's say this is your line art layer, so you can change it to that. You can also transfer to lower layer and then merge with the layer below. This is for creating a mask, and this is to apply a mask to a layer. This is to clip this layer to the layer below. You can see that it's denoted by this reddish pink. This is to use this layer as a reference. This is to set it as a draft layer. This is to lock the layer so that you do not, by mistake, make any changes to it once you have finalized. This is to lock all the transparent pixels, and this is to enable or disable if a mask is available. Same thing with the ruler. If there's a ruler that you're using for this layer, you can choose this to set if the ruler is on or not. Coming over here, these are the type of layer compositions that you can use. I would highly recommend playing with these to know what each function can do. This is the opacity of this particular layer. You can also choose a color so that you can differentiate this layer from the rest. So these are the functions available in the layer panel. Next, we'll go through this panel here. The first on top is your quick access panel. These are basically the various tools that you can find under the edit option, and also the layer selection options here. So instead of going through each of these menus, Clip Studio has laid it out here for you so that you can easily go from here and use these functions. You can also add your own by going to Set To and tapping this quick access settings, and you can add your own over here. For example, let's say from stories, I want to add the option to open a new page. If I add this, you can see that the option is available. I can close this and then use this function whenever I want. Next are the material palettes and layouts. These are all the materials that you can get from Clip Studio Paint. There's a lot of them that come pre-downloaded, and you can also download your own from the website. Next, we have the navigator layout or panel over here. Let's bring it out so that we can have a better look. This will always show the canvas and what is happening in the canvas. It's in a way a window, a smaller window that you can use to check your composition and various other things as well. You can also use the slider to zoom and zoom out of the canvas. Use the buttons. This slider is for rotating the canvas. Much same thing with these buttons. This is to reset it, to flip it horizontally, and to flip it vertically. Now with these, you're just flipping the canvas. You're not actually flipping your artwork. We have various other panels as well. This is the layer property. So with this line art layer selected and these red lines that we have, this is in color. As such, you can see that the color red, but say if you want to change it to grayscale, then you can do so, or monochrome. That is pretty much the basics of what you'll need to illustrate on Clip Studio Paint. Before we move on to the next step, let's have a quick look at today's sponsor. This Clip Studio Paint beginner tutorial series is sponsored by you. That's right. While the tutorial series is completely free to watch here on YouTube, doing all the necessary research, coming up with the script, going through multiple iterations, recording tutorial series, then please like the video, leave your feedback or questions down below, and subscribe to the channel to get notified when the next video comes out. I will see you in the next video.